This is the Gerry Callahan Show.
I got a question for every Democrat out there, every mainstream media member. What did you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen, Tish James, when you kept Donald Trump tied up in court for an entire summer when he was supposed to be out campaigning, when you made up this ridiculous case about him overvaluing his properties, when you said Mar-a-Lago was worth $18 million, just off by about $500 million. Mar-a-Lago is probably worth $1 billion. If you know anything about Palm Beach real estate, everyone knew it was a ridiculous case. It was a fake case. When you went on TV every day and said, you're going to get him, that was your campaign promise. I'm going to get Donald Trump. I'm going to seize his assets. I'm going to take 40 Wall Street. What did you think was going to happen when he returned to office? What did you think, John Bolton? What did you think was going to happen when you went on TV every day and just with your snarky, smarmy attitude, just ripping Trump and calling Trump a fool and saying Trump didn't know what he was doing, and then ripped Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard and Dan Bongino? Did you think they were just going to say, we don't want to weaponize government. We don't want to go after our political enemies. You know what they're doing right now? They're doing what they were elected to do. There is not a single Trump voter of the 77 million out there who watches the FBI raid John Bolton's home and his office and says, we should just move on. Why don't we just let bygones be bygones? And there's nothing more hilarious than watching the mainstream media say, Retribution tour. He's using federal agencies to go after his enemies. What did you think happened for the last 4 years when they raided Roger Stone's home, when they shackled Peter Navarro at the airport, when they arrested Trump and charged him with 34 fake felonies? Did you think everyone was just going to move on? Well, you were sadly mistaken. This is what we voted for. This morning at 7 a.m., the FBI raided John Bolton's Bethesda, Maryland home. These people all have mansions in Bethesda, Maryland. These people who've been in government their whole lives. And you're not going to find a bigger deep state clown than John Bolton. Then they raided his office. The FBI, Fox is reporting now the DOJ is now looking at James Comey, John Brennan, and James Clapper. Of course they are. That's what we voted for. They are going to find, I guarantee you, they're taking stuff out of Bolton's home and office as we speak. Bolton was home at the time. I don't think they went in with guns drawn and dragged him out of his home in his underwear. No, that's reserved for Republicans. But they are going to find classified documents. There is no way this man who's been in government for more than 50 years did not take home some things he was not supposed to take home. This guy worked for Spiro Agnew in 1972. And then this war hawk, this war pig, John Bolton, who has supported regime change in everywhere, every country. He wants war. He wants regime change. He wanted to use the military all over the globe. He is the worst of the worst. And by the way, he avoided serving in Vietnam, joined the Air National Guard, I think, to avoid service in Vietnam. He admitted it. But he wanted to send your kids, he wanted to send you to fight wherever, North Korea, Iran, Syria, you name it. Well, they're gonna find. He is known as a prolific note taker. In every meeting, you could see it. In every meeting, he had his yellow pad and he took notes, and all those notes are classified, and he has no right to them. I guarantee he took many of them. And now John Bolton is at the find out phase of the F around and find out. He is finding out. And I think a lot of these guys are going to find out in the coming days. Kash Patel tweeted out, no one is above the law. Here's this. I mean, he's just so repulsive. He runs to CNN and MSNBC at every chance he gets. And he says the same thing over and over again. Trump's incompetent. Trump's a fool. Trump's a bad guy. If Trump fired him And he has been trying to get revenge on Trump. And now it's Trump's turn. Here he is saying, I wish Kash Patel would just go away. Sorry, John, not happening.
I think a lot of Republicans right now just wish Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, and a number of other Trump nominees would just go away.
Yeah, sure. You just keep wishing. The amazing thing with John Bolton is these people, that's Caitlin Collins, every one of these people on MSNBC and CNN and ABC, NBC, they hated him. They hated him. He was a Republican. He was a war hawk. They despised the man until he became an enemy of Trump. Then they had him on every day. You name it. Come on in, John. Tell us how much you hate Donald Trump. Well, it's all coming full circle now. First, yesterday, Trump is just on an incredible roll. We'll get to D.C. and how that's going. We'll get to the ride along, which was a little disappointing, but we have to get to this Tish James story. Anyone who's honest, and nobody in the mainstream media is honest. Democrats, they're not honest about it. They're blinded by hatred for Trump. We know that. But when Trump was sitting in that courtroom listening to testimony, when Trump was forced to be in that courtroom by that clown of a judge, everyone knew it was fake. Everyone knew the whole case was ridiculous. There were no victims. The banks he supposedly ripped off by overvaluing his property testified on his defense. They made money. They made millions. The case was absurd, as we talked about every day as it unfolded. We knew it was all political. This woman, again, campaigned, saying, I'm going to get Trump. I'm going to seize his assets. I'm going to put him in jail. It was outrageous from the beginning. The only reason anyone ever covered it like it was a real trial is because they were rooting for her. They hate Trump. They wanted to stop Trump. This was the ultimate in lawfare. This was the ultimate in weaponizing the government at the state level. And this disgusting this woman, who, by the way, is facing serious charges for mortgage fraud. Ed Martin, the Trump appointee who was overseeing the case, was at her address, which is, again, a 5-unit apartment building, which she said was a 4-unit apartment building to save money, to screw the taxpayers. She has some real serious issues of her own. But if you don't remember, she would go out there every day and said, I'm coming after him. I mean, it was outrageous on any level. Think of that. Saying, I'm not looking for crime. I'm looking for a man. I am going to find the man, Donald Trump, and I got the man. Now I'm going to find the crime. Now I'm going to do what it takes to put him in jail. And Democrats just cheered along. The media just went along. They knew it was all bull. They knew this was just a vindictive, nasty old woman trying to put one man in jail so he wouldn't return to the White House. She was out there gloating. She went to court every day. She'd sit behind him and stare at him. That was this was such an outrageous use of the justice system. But here she is, promising not only to get Trump, but to get all his assets.
New York State Attorney General Letitia James speaking exclusively with our Aaron Katersky, insisting she will collect that civil fraud fine, even if it means seizing some of his assets.
If he does not have funds to pay off the judgment, then we will seek, judgment enforcement mechanisms in court, and we will ask the judge to seize his assets. We are prepared to make sure that the judgment is paid to New Yorkers. And yes, I look at 40 Wall Street each and every day.
Oh, she looks at 40 Wall Street. She dreams of seizing the properties of the man who did nothing wrong. Everybody knows it. Everyone knows how silly that was, saying he overvalued Mar-a-Lago, and they had no victim. It was a big, long civil trial with no victim. No victim, just a flat-out attempt to put him in jail. And this broke yesterday. Again, Trump is on a roll. So much winning. An appellate court has thrown out the $500 million civil fraud penalty against Donald Trump in the high-profile case brought by Attorney General Letitia James. The New York Appellate Division overturned the penalty, ruling the disengorgement was an excessive fine that violates the Eighth Amendment. The 5-member panel all upheld findings that Trump and his company were liable, affirming that James acted within her authority and that the injunctive release to curb Trump organization practice was appropriate. Of course, this is a New York judges, New York court. The ruling leaves liability intact, but eliminates the massive financial penalty of $364 million plus interest, which rose to $527 million. They thought they were going to break him, bankrupt him. And of course, it was thrown out. Big W for Donald Trump. Just one of many. I mean, let's be honest. Every case was ridiculous. The Fannie Willis case, the Alvin Bragg, the most outrageous one of all, E. Jean Carroll, who made up a story of him raping her, and he was ordered to give her $95 million. The idea that Trump isn't supposed to turn the tables on these people. Yes, seek revenge, call it what you will, retribution, a reckoning. When he was sitting in that courtroom, this is what he was dreaming of, winning first of all, winning back the White House. I'm not sure he would have done that if not for Letitia James and Fannie Willis and Alvin Bragg and Jack Smith. We've never seen something blow up on a bunch of political hacks like these cases, and it's just going to continue. It's going to continue. Trump will just continue doing what he's doing and winning on a daily basis. Yesterday was another one of those days. He made an appearance with the National Guard and the other federal law enforcement officials who are on the street cleaning up the city of D.C., something that Joe Biden could have done, something Trump could have done, something Obama, you name it. It's been a extremely violent place for decades and decades. And honestly, why didn't someone think of this before? Say, we don't have to live this way. We don't have to accept the fact that you can't walk around at night in our nation's capital. We don't have to accept almost 1,000 carjackings in 2024. We just accepted it and said, yeah, this is the way it is. This is life in the big city, life in our nation's capital. This is just another example of Trump not being ideological, not being political, just looking at this with common sense and saying, we can't allow this. We can't live like this. So he sends in 800 National Guard troops and other law enforcement agencies, and they clean the city up in a week. Today marks 8 days, no murders. The fact that we have to report that is a big surprise. No murders in D.C. in 8 days. Everything else, carjackings, almost all but eliminated. Everything, robberies, muggings, all down dramatically since the federal forces entered and started patrolling the D.C. streets. And the residents, as we pointed out, are thrilled. The media is not. They're rooting for the murderers. They're upset. We have no murders. That's the position Donald Trump has put them in. Let's get the numbers on this. I was disappointed, I have to say. Trump announced that he was going to do a ride along with the cops yesterday. Here are the latest numbers. 76 arrests in D.C. last night, White House officials tell the Daily Wire. That's a total of 719 arrests since the operation began. That includes grabbing up 36 illegal aliens, including the guy from Mexico who raped a 13-year-old child, who they tackled outside his car. And Jessica Tarloff and Wolf Blitzer were very upset. Arrests include drug possession, battery on an officer, DUIs, resisting arrest with violence, assault on a family member, sexual solicitation, hit and run, driving without a license. It goes on and on. This is like 3 pages long. This is the result of federal forces augmenting, assisting the DC police. And now, you know what you can do on this August weekend? You can go look at the Lincoln Memorial, the Jefferson. You can go to what I always do, go to Arlington National Cemetery. You can go walk around the White House, the Capitol. You could probably do it after dark. Imagine that. You can walk around the nation's capital, check out the sights, appreciate the history, and not worried about being carjacked by some 14-year-old criminal. That has changed in a week. And again, it's amazing that someone hasn't already done this. Why for decades do we allow this in our nation's capital? Here's Trump making a big announcement with Todd Starnes that he will be going on a ride along. Boy, this thing went viral and everybody was anticipating, an episode of Cops starring Donald Trump. I thought he would have the vest, maybe have not a gun, but maybe a hat and be out there patrolling the streets. Here's the announcement.
And I'm going to be going out tonight. I'm going to keep it a secret, but I'm going to go. You're the only one that knows. You and your lots of listeners. You have a great show. You have a very successful show, by the way, in case you haven't heard that. But I'm going to be going out tonight, I think, with the police, and with the military, of course. So we're going to do a job. The National Guard is great. They've done a fantastic job.
That's with Newsmax own Todd Starnes. And Trump went out, apparently, but surprisingly, it wasn't turned into a TV production. When I heard he was going out, man, that was wild. And I said, they'll have a camera with him. He'll be on the scene of some arrest of some carjacker or drug dealer. As far as I could tell, it didn't happen. He brought them pizzas. He brought them burgers from Shake Shack. And he quietly went for a ride along. They had a whole caravan. I mean, you can't have the beast on a raid of some drug den. But I did think it would be a little more theatrical. But unfortunately, Trump kind of kept it low key. And there were, once again, no murders. That is quite a streak. 8 days, no murders. And the media will tell you that's fascism. That's authoritarianism. He just wants to crack down and use his authority. He's going to go into another. Everyone says, why doesn't he go into Memphis? Why doesn't he go into Baltimore? Good question. I know he doesn't have the same authority, but do you think that law-abiding citizens of Memphis or Baltimore or New York or LA, or you don't think they would welcome this? Some help for the cops? Fewer murders? What a crazy concept. Let's stop murder. Back to you, Wolf. Tell us how you don't want to stop murders. Let's hear it, Jessica Tarloff. Explain why you don't want to stop murders in our nation's capital. This is just such a hilarious thing to watch. The media scramble to defend murder, to defend John Bolton, to defend Letitia James. Yeah, you go for it. That's a good plan. We'll get to the media and how they covered the mass murder in Florida of an illegal alien who took an illegal U-turn and killed 3 innocent Floridians. You probably won't be surprised about how much coverage that got. But the Trump team is not slowing down. Marco Rubio announced they're putting a halt on visas. Not all visas, should be all visas, but halt on visas for foreign truck drivers. What a crazy idea, huh? Let's stop giving visas and CDLs to foreigners who can't speak English, who can't read road signs. We'll get to that. And if you're looking for something fun to do this fall, we got good news. Kamala Harris is going on tour. If you think this is going to be a disaster, and it's going to be great, we're going to be here for it. It's going to be hilarious. But Kamala, she's going to go on a speaking tour to push her book, which is called, I think, 1.5 billion. I think she named the book after how much money she blew on her failed campaign. That is going to be great. We'll get to that and more, but first.
Excuse me.
All right, have you tried Callahan coffee yet? Well, you should. It's really good stuff. Our first branded product. This is a premium dark roast blend roasted fresh to order in Waltham, Mass. The Callahan coffee blend combines beans from 3 continents to create a unique natural coffee flavor, rich with chocolate and sweet with caramel taste notes. creating a full-body dark roast with low acidity. People keep telling us they love it. They keep ordering more. You got to try it. Callahan Coffee is a great way to directly support this show. So order it now at CallahanCoffee.com. That's CallahanCoffee.com. You know, I should have seen this coming. I know we did our little pool. Who would be the first to get busted? I was predicting Brennan. I think I predicted Brennan. I was hoping for Christopher Wray. I should have seen it coming. That was John Bolton. I mean, you know why I know he's in real legal jeopardy here? Because they started with him. I'm pretty sure Kash Patel, Pam Bondi weren't going to start with someone who's, borderline. They know they got the goods on this scumbag, and I wouldn't want to be John Bolton right now. I'm going to get you this. Here it is. As we've talked about all week, a illegal alien from India, Harjinder Singh, who had no business being in the country, was claiming asylum, just the fakest of fake asylum claims. And he got a CDL, a license to operate a 18-wheeler in California and in Washington State. And the inevitable happened. He went to Florida and killed 3 innocent people. As I mentioned, you hear nothing from Democrats, nothing from Gavin Newsom. He's busy campaigning for president and talking about Trump 24/7. Nothing about the blood he has on his hands. Nothing from any Democrat. The media, check this out. This is from Newsbusters. ABC, CBS, NBC combined for 0 minutes covering the story of the illegal alien who killed 3 innocent Floridians. 0. These people are disgusting. You think you hate the media enough. You do not hate the media enough. A total blackout on the story. Why? Because the guy who killed 3 people is an illegal alien, and the guy who gave him a license is a Democrat. Those are the rules at our big 3 networks. And if MSNBC, or I'm sorry, MS Now or CNN covered it, I sure didn't see it. But it is incredible. And I'm going to update this every day. A Massachusetts woman, a Cambridge woman, a neighbor of Liz Warren, was killed by an illegal alien a week ago in Lewiston, Maine, killed by an illegal alien from Angola who had a permit to drive, drove his Buick over the curb and killed this poor woman, Elizabeth Camacho, 48 years old. Not a word from Liz Warren, Ed Markey, Janet Mills, Maura Healey, not a word. They are so invested in protecting illegal aliens that they don't even acknowledge innocent Americans who pay for these open border policies with their lives. These people are just despicable, disgusting. They are more concerned with protecting illegals from ICE than they are protecting Americans from illegals. That's where we are in this country. All right, more winning. Just let's be honest. If you know who Ian Sams is by any chance, of course you do. He was Biden's top spokesman for 2 years. The bald guy, kind of effeminate, on TV every day, talking about how the whole thing, asking about Biden's mental state. It was a witch hunt. Biden's sharp as a tack, tip top. He was one of them out there every day, like Joe Scarborough, saying there's nothing wrong with Joe Biden. Well, he testified yesterday before James Comer's oversight committee on the auto pen scandal, on the Biden's mental condition scandal. This is remarkable. How often do you think a president talks to his spokesperson? I'm going to guess Trump talks to Caroline Leavitt every day, twice a day, 3, 4, 5 times a day. I'm guessing she's in the Oval Office every day.
Hours each day.
Endless. I mean, she must work 18 hours a day, and most of it spent with Trump or with Susie Wiles or with the inner circle. This guy, Ian Sams, told this committee, again, this is a scandal and it's getting no coverage, of course, but He told the committee he met Joe Biden twice. He was his spokesman for 2 years. I got to give Sam's credit here. He just incriminated Biden and the Biden team, the auto pen people, without really incriminating himself. I mean, he's a liar. He went on TV every day and said Joe Biden's in great shape. He met him twice. He never flew on Air Force One. I thought the spokesman was on Air Force One every time. I would have assumed he was in Delaware with him. He was wherever, in Nantucket, wherever Biden went. I thought Ian Sams was by his side. He was boxed out of the inner circle, and yet he went on TV every day and said, he even called out Special Prosecutor Robert Hur and said he was lying about Joe Biden. He didn't. Joe Biden spent more time with imaginary people than he did with his own spokesperson. They kept the spokesperson away from Joe Biden, gave him plausible deniability, I guess, because they didn't want him to see him in the condition he was in. Go ahead, play James Comer. Comer's great on this, and he's not letting go. He is a dog on a bone, man, and he's just going to keep pushing forward. This scandal has just begun. Go ahead.
I mean, I can't say this enough. I want to say this one more time so everyone understands. Ian Sams, who was the White House spokesperson for a significant amount of Joe Biden's time as president, interacted with him 2 times. 2 times. So, we're going to continue to bring people in. And again, this person, Ian Sams, is the one that would counter everything Robert Hur, or anytime anyone would suggest that Joe Biden wasn't mentally fit, he would say, no, he's at the top of his game. Every time he tweeted out, and there several times he gave interviews on MSNBC. Every time I've interacted with the president, he was sharp. He asked great questions. In there, under oath, he interacted with the president 2 times the entire time. The entire time he worked in the White House.
That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. I mean, if you heard Caroline Leavitt interacted with Trump 2 times in a day, that would surprise me. I'd be like, well, only twice? That's odd. She's there early in the morning. She's there at night. I mean, that's strange. Twice in 2 years. They must have been just shocked, going, wait a second. We saw your bald ass on TV every night on MSNBC, on CNN, talking about how Republicans are lying and special prosecutors lying, and Joe Biden's tip top and he's sharp as a tack, and we can't keep up with him. They were all lying over and over, day after day. They were all lying. They knew he was an empty husk of a man and in no condition to be running the country. Comer knows. You can see it. You can hear it. He knows they got him. They got him down cold on this. They know. Here's the guy Ian Sams told you was tip top, wandering around the European. Georgia Maloney has to go get him and drag him by the arm. Get back here. Haven't heard much from Joe Biden, have we? We're not gonna. They're gonna keep him out of the public eye. We're going to hear a lot from Kamala Harris, though. This is credible. Kamala Harris is going on. She's got a book coming out. And I think, she's obviously didn't write the book. I'm sure she didn't write a word of it. Someone's writing it for her, but they know they have to have something in there, 2 or 3 things in there to sell this book. I think she might just turn on Joe Biden. She might just explain what a mess he was when they decided to make the switch and appoint her the candidate. She can tell that story. It's time for her to tell that story, and that would make this book 107 days worth reading. A 15-city tour she's going on. Oh. Imagine the people who show up. It'll be the same crowd. It'll be 75-year-old women, from Cambridge or from Bethesda, who will show up and they'll get their book signed, and she'll have that fake giggly laugh, and she'll do selective interviews and they'll be just terrible. And the problem is when that book tour's over, nobody is going to think she's a viable candidate for president. And maybe she won't run or whatever. But
Well, that first one, she sounded absolutely hammered.
it's true. These events are probably going to be at night. I looked. She's not coming to Boston, which is surprising. But this is unprecedented. The book's called 107 Days because that's how long the campaign went. The campaign was a disaster. We know that. We watched it. So what is she going to say? That she going to lie and say, "Oh, we did great"? She avoided interviews. The whole campaign was 107 days. For the first 30 days, she didn't do any interviews. She wouldn't even talk to friendly reporters, which is most of them. And she's going to lots of cities, but not Boston, which is kind of disappointing. New York, LA, a whole bunch of places. Nashville. She's going to find a lot of friendly people in Nashville. This is going to provide Ironhead. We are going to have so many clips from this tour. All right, speaking of clips from this, there's a big gubernatorial battle in Virginia. Spamberger versus Winsome Sears, the lieutenant governor, African-American woman. Spamberger is leading in the polls, but she's got a problem. She's got an issue. Virginia is ground zero for the battle over gender, the battle to keep boys out of girls' locker rooms. And I'm not sure if you saw this story this week, but it's just incredible. And it's become a big issue, and I hope it becomes a bigger issue. We're going to get to the sign. Two Virginia, this is from Fox, 2 Virginia teen students are being suspended after they were recorded on video questioning why a female student who identifies as a male was in their locker room. Loudoun County, of course, public schools, is suspending the Stonebridge High students for 10 days following a Title IX investigation into the incident earlier this year. 2 boys in the boys' locker room. A girl comes in, she's videotaping, she's recording because they question what she's doing in there, and they suspend the boys. And it's blown up. By the way, there were 3 boys in there. One of them caught a break. You know why? Because he's Muslim. They let the Muslim kid walk. The 2 Christians are suspended for 10 days for asking why a girl was in their locker room where they're changing clothes and videotaping them. And they investigate and suspend the boys. This is madness. And thankfully, it's become a big issue. It was a losing issue in the presidential campaign. God knows, I hope, I pray it'll be a losing issue in the Virginia governor's race. Again, Spamberger is leading because, this is Virginia, and certainly leading in Loudoun County, where they continue to cling to this insanity of wanting boys in girl spaces. You'd think they would just drop it. They know it's a losing issue. I guess they can't. So Winsome Sears has an appearance yesterday. She's talking about this and making it an issue, as well she should. And the protesters show up. We'll listen to Winsome and then get to the protesters. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the insanity to stop. It is time for everyone to recognize what is settled truth. Girls are girls and boys are boys. I cannot believe that we are here today having to talk about these things that everybody understands as plain common sense. Here we are, we're talking about 3 young boys who have been punished because they were trying to do the noble thing and saying they were not comfortable having to undress in front of girls. Now, normally we would applaud that, would we not? And instead, this school system has decided they are going to use the parents' own tax money against them and punish these boys. And so now They are branded, these young men are branded with a label that no parent wants them to have as folks, as boys who have sexually harassed at their young age.
They sexually harassed. They're accused of sexually harassing by asking a girl what she's doing in their locker room. And the school system suspends the boys. I thought we were done with this. I thought Trump signed an executive order. I thought you couldn't do this. And they use Title IX to do it. It's incredible. But here's one of the protesters. And again, it's Virginia. It's Northern Virginia. Just imagine, if you will, if we'll get here's the sign. Obviously, a homely older woman holding up a sign at this event. It reads, "Hey, Winsome, trans can't share your bathroom. If trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share my water fountain." That's a sign in 2025 in Virginia at a rally for a black woman who's running for governor, a black woman who's lieutenant governor. And this is the opposition. If you don't allow girls in the boys' room or boys in the girls' room, you can't use my water fountain. They are telling you who they are, man. Listen, these are the worst racists there are out there. This, whatever she is, this old woman, and there's video of some guy walking up to her and saying, "You're not helping." She's like, "What? Your sign has gone viral and it's just not helping." I can't believe that there are enough people who stand with this racist old woman who will vote against the African-American woman, the conservative, who said it right. She says, "I can't believe I'm saying this, but boys don't belong in girls' locker rooms. Boys don't belong in girls' sports." There's just clinging to this 2021 insanity in these blue cities, blue places, and Loudoun County is the worst. Don't forget, Loudoun County is the place where a guy got arrested when he went to a school board meeting to protest because his daughter got sexually assaulted by a boy in the girls' room. The father got arrested, as you recall. Loudoun County hasn't learned, but maybe, the rest of Virginia, the red areas will step up and elect Winsome Sears, who
I do really like the other sign, though. Keep guns out of schools, not kids out of bathrooms with a trans flag. Wow. Trans people are committing a ton of the shootings lately.
That's a good point. And I'm just going to guess that Loudoun County schools have a rule against guns in schools. Wouldn't you guess? I don't think they have a rule that says boys can't go in the locker room. They're going in the locker room and taking their clothes off. We have lost our collective minds. I understand. We had a phase. We had a year or two, three years where people bought into this madness. But I thought we'd moved on. I feel like we have moved on, that 80% of the public has spoken, and they don't want boys, naked boys in the girls' room, naked boys in the bathroom, or on the playing fields, beating up girls. I thought we had moved on. We haven't. I guess I should applaud. This is a good issue for Republicans. Winsome Sears won the day. This thing went viral, and everyone is just blown away by the absolute madness of
I think I have the video of someone going up to the lady.
Oh yeah, that's good. The guy's like whispering to her, "You gotta ixnay the einsay, lady."
Yeah, here it is. You're getting a lot of publicity. Negative, he says. Look at her. She's right off the casting couch. Look at her. Looks like she cut her own hair with a butter knife. Black glasses, the same black glasses they all wear. Rachel Maddow and the CEO of Cracker Barrel. We should get to that. We haven't done Cracker Barrel yet, but it never. This just. You would think what happened to Bud Light, which has lost billions and billions and billions, they were the number one beer in America. They're no longer the number one beer. They're not even close. People still haven't gotten over the fact that Bud Light
handed the reins to this crazy woke woman, Alicia Schneiderhide from Harvard, who said they no longer wanted to appeal to frat boys and they wanted to be fresh and light and airy. So they put a transgender, put a man, Dylan Mulvaney, in a bathtub with Bud Light. This could be the most colossally stupid marketing move in the history of corporate America. They should be studying it in business schools forever. But Bud Light's not the only company who've handed the reins to a woke woman who's invested in DEI thinking and DEI policies. Cracker Barrel CEO Julie Messina, she's the one that overseen the changing of the logo. Someone else explained this to me. She couldn't be alone, right? There has to be a board. There has to be, marketing people and advertising people. And I believe she brought in 3 advertising agencies to work with her on rebranding Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel, which is got a real brand. It's down home. It feels like, your grandmother's house. And you go inside and you have some pancakes and you go to the little gift shop and you just feel like it's Americana. And they decided to change that. The restaurants now look indistinguishable from anywhere else, from Applebee's or Fridays or whatever. And they changed the logo from the old man sitting next to an actual barrel, which is iconic, to just this plain yellow and black thing that says Cracker Barrel. You had to pay advertising agencies to come up with that. And of course, the CEO, Julie Messina, is a woke woman with black glasses, and she thinks it's great. Hasn't gone so well in the first few days after the rollout. Here she is with Michael Strahan on Good Morning America bragging about how people love the new branding. I haven't seen a single person who loves it. Seen a lot of outrage. The Democrat Party, the official Twitter feed of the Democrat Party said they stand with Republicans or stand with anybody in opposition to this. They went woke and they don't even have the support of Democrats. Listen to this wretched woman.
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
Well, Julie Messina, it's wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for answering those questions for all the Cracker Barrel fans out there. There's a lot of great changes.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. We found someone, Michael Strahan. What a clown. A lot of great changes. She's lying, first of all. There's no positive reaction to this. I mean, none. People are outraged. And it's just remarkable. They don't study. They don't learn. I mean, you saw what happened to Bud Light. You saw what happened to Target. What about happened to Jaguar when they came out with that insane ad with all the weird amorphous kind of figures? I don't know whether they were non-binary or trans or whatever, dancing around like they were the Teletubbies. No car in the ad. Jaguar lost like 90% of their sales in Europe. Bud Light lost billions. Target is dumping their CEO because woke policies did such damage to the brand. And they see all that and they say, we need to get rid of the old man in the barrel. We need to get rid of all the stuff, the stuff on the walls about whatever, fishing or animals or whatever. Let's go sterile and let's go bland and tell people it's fresh new branding. Here's what happened to Cracker Barrel after they rolled this out. This is from CBS. Cracker Barrel shed almost $100 million in market value after its stock plunged Thursday following the release of their new logo. The new design eliminates a long-standing drawing of an overall clad man leaning against the barrel in favor of a cleaner logo featuring just the chain's name. Shares of Cracker Barrel fell 422 or 7.2%, shedding $94 million in market value. The stock had dipped to a low of 50 earlier in the day, representing a loss of $200 billion in market cap. Why do you hand your company Why do stockholders stand for this? Hand your company to this fool. And there's been a lot of people. Robbie Starbuck, who's great at this on X, he's done a deep dive, and the company was captured by wokesters. The company has emphasized DEI policies. People are waking up. That's, to me, this could be worse than Bud Light, because more than any other company I can think of, maybe like hunting and fishing stores, or maybe Cabela's, but not many companies rely on Red America and old traditional values like Cracker Barrel and woke ladies like her. That woman's never eaten in one of her restaurants. She's probably never been in one of her restaurants. That's not the clientele. The clientele wasn't looking to get rid of the old man and get rid of the fish on the wall. And yet they do it. They want it cleaner and fresher, newer. That's not why people go to Cracker Barrel. They go for just the opposite. They like the old. They like traditional. They like the homey grandma's house feeling. And they threw that all away because these people are so blinded by their silly ass woke ideology. It really is amazing. But all right. Any good comments? It's Friday. We got to do comments, even if they suck, Ironhead. But before we do, let's do jazzy jazz. I've seen conflicting reports. We know Texas has redistricted. That has passed. It's happening. We're hoping Republicans pick up 5 seats. She's on the bubble. I've seen some people think that she could be vulnerable. Others say she's safe. And you know who's definitely vulnerable? The hairy cheek guy, Al Green with the cane. He's vulnerable. He may be out, which is a good thing. He's the guy who's always screaming about impeachment and was yelling at Trump during the State of the Union. Well, Jazzy might be safe, and you know what? I'm okay with that. We need to keep her around. We need to keep telling her, "You're doing great, Jasmine." We need people like Molly Jong Fast to say she's the future of the party. She's the leader as they head into the midterms, and maybe she's a candidate for president. This absolutely insane, fake ghetto woman who went to the finest private schools and used to speak clearly, and now she's pretending to be something she's not, and it's working. She was on with Gavin Newsom, who again is busy doing podcasts, not issuing permits for people to rebuild their homes, not making sure there are not more fires, not protect cleaning up the streets or getting rid of the homeless or anything that would help Californians. He's busy doing podcasts and running for president. And he had Jasmine on yesterday, and she explains, in case you weren't sure what the role of ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is, she explains that ICE is really just a fancy Uber driver. The fancy Uber drivers, that's their job, to be Uber drivers for illegal aliens. Listen to this moron.
ICE, for the most part, is nothing but a ride. That's all they were supposed to do for the most part, right? It's like, you know what? This person is undocumented, or this person re-enters the country illegally, all the things, and then they have an ICE hold. And then ICE gets them so they can then send them out. That's all ICE is supposed to do. Look at them as a fancy Uber driver for immigrants. That's all they're supposed to do. And now they're running into places and doing raids, and they're falling all over each other, injuring each other. Like, we are a joke, but it is a bad nightmare of a joke. And so I don't think that this president has any limits that he won't go to.
Gavin nods along. Yeah, they're just supposed to give illegal aliens rides. Where are they supposed to drive them, lady? To the welfare office? Where are they supposed to drive them? Out of the country? To the airport? To Alligator Alcatraz? Okay, fine. That's the job. Those two. We need those two right out front every day. Jasmine Crockett and Gavin Newsom. You're not going to find two more unctuous, obnoxious Democrats in this country. All right, we have time now. We'll get to, you got lots of comments here, and you're going to tell me I know what you're going to say, Ironhead, that they all suck.
Lackluster.
That's not me, lady. That's not me. That's Ironhead. David says, all bogus charges brought up by the corrupt Democrat Party to derail Republicans. It's your turn now, and none of you rats are going to like it. He's right. I mean, you know what? Republicans, people who voted for Trump, who lived through the lawfare, who watched every day when he was on trial, who watched these ridiculous verdicts and the $500 million fine and all the judgments against him, the raid on Mar-a-Lago, they're okay with a little revenge. Whoever decided that revenge is a bad thing, it's a natural human impulse. And they know a guy like John Bolton broke the law. They know he has classified documents. But if they didn't try to put Trump in jail, try to kill him, try to bankrupt him, they would probably let it slide. But hey, as Kash Patel said, no one is above the law. Megan says, never seen such stupidity in my life. It is amazing. We have CEOs that are the dumbest people in society. We really do. Mark, I catch a boy walking into my granddaughter's locker room. He's going to get his ass kicked, and I don't care how old he is. These guys didn't kick anyone's ass. All they did was tell the girl to get out of the boy's locker room, and they're suspended for 10 days. And I'm going to guess Arnie Spanberger was not happy. She probably wants to just talk about Trump. White liberals are insane. The two boys charged were Christian. Yes, that's true. The third boy was a Muslim. He got to skate, obviously. That's white privilege, right? Only an idiot would vote for Gavin Newsom. It's true. I watch Newsom every day, and I say, you destroyed California in every way. Again, highest unemployment, highest taxes, most regulations, most people fleeing the state. I was talking to a friend from California yesterday, and I forgot this. He says he pays 14% state tax. Put that on the feds, it's over 50%. You want that guy? And they have a huge deficit. You want that guy as president? I mean, he's just an awful candidate. I know he's slick. I know he can lie like he breathes. And I know he's not as dumb as, Jasmine Crockett or as weird as Tim Walz, but he's a terrible candidate. Jazzy needs to go to jail. No, Jazzy's not going to jail. We don't want Jazzy in jail. We want Jazzy in Congress. We want her talking. We want her. Gerry Callahan is spilling the tea from Deep Blue Boston. Yes, I am. I'm stealing the tea from Liz Warren, from Ayanna Pressley's district. It's sad, but I won't be here forever, but I'll be here for now behind enemy lines. But all right, that will do it for today. Did you do any pull-ups yesterday, Ironhead?
I was going to, but I heard the ice cream truck, so I figured
Oh, good. Well, you got weekend. You could do a couple a day. Get this thing done in 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have my challenge done by mid-September.
Yeah, you could they have those pull-up things in gyms where you get a little assist. Usually it's for women, but you get that thing you can put your knees or put your feet on that will help you.
I don't judge.
You could do that. I mean, they're not real pull-ups, but all you got to do is 50 of them. And then you can challenge someone else. That's how it works. It's like the ice bucket challenge. You dump the ice on your head and you challenge someone else. But all right, that will do it for today and for this week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm Gerry Callahan. This is The Callahan Show, and we'll do it again Monday morning.
I think a lot of Republicans right now just wish Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, and a number of other Trump nominees would just go away.